In this video, we'll be looking at the concept of equivalent fractions. The word equivalent means the same. And so an equivalent fraction is a fraction that represents the same amount written in a different way. Imagine that you have a pizza and you split that pizza into 4 equal slices. And you definitely want to eat this amount of pizza. What you want is 1 out of 4 of the pieces. You want 1/4 of the pizza. But if the pizza is cut into more slices, let's say that we cut it now into 8 slices, for you to eat the same amount of pizza, you would need to eat 2 out of 8 slices. Imagine then that we cut the pizza into even smaller pieces. So we cut every slice in half again. And we should have 16 slices. But you still want to eat the same amount of pizza. So you would have to eat 4 out of 16 pieces. These 3 fractions are equivalent. They represent the same amount written in a different way. How do we take a fraction and make a fraction equivalent to it? So if we have 2/3, a fraction equivalent to that could be 4/6. Because to go from one fraction to an equivalent fraction, you have to multiply the top number, which is the numerator, and the bottom number, the denominator, by the same number. In the pizza example, we did times 2 to the numerator and the denominator, and that gave us an equivalent fraction of 2/8. Then, with that fraction, we multiplied by 2 again and got 4 out of 16. So with the fraction 2/3, you can multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 2, and the fraction that you get as a result will be an equivalent fraction. Let's try a couple more, and then we'll talk about why this works. If we have 1/3, and we want to find an equivalent fraction out of 9, what would the numerator have to be? Well, the rule says that we times the bottom number and the top number by the same amount. 3 times 3 is 9, so we also have to times 1 by 3. And so 1/3 is equivalent to 3/9. We could then write another equivalent fraction. And I'll say that the numerator of that fraction is 6, but the denominator is an unknown quantity. Well, to go from 3 to 6, you would have to times by 2. So we also times 9 by 2, and we get 18. And that means 1/3 is also equivalent to 6/18. How could we get there in one step? Well, we could times the top and the bottom by 6, and you'd get 6/18. So why does multiplying the top number and the bottom number by the same amount give us an equivalent fraction? Well, we have to understand what happens when you divide a number by itself. So here we times by 6/6, and 6/6 is just 1. And if you times, or multiply rather, any number by 1, you get the number itself. So taking a fraction, 4/7, and multiplying the top and bottom by 2/2, giving 8/14, gives us an equivalent fraction because all we've done is multiply by 2 over 2, which we know is 1. Thanks for tuning in.